Well, hello again. It's been a few months since my last recording. It is July 9th, 2025. And a lot of kind of obnoxious stuff has happened over the last couple of days that I thought I'd just make a video on and share my thoughts. Mind you, this is just a guy's opinion. I'm not to be taken as a credible source. I'm not to be taken as anything more than a guy who's just sharing his thoughts. Laugh, cheer, praise, whatever, I don't really care. Welcome. Nice to have you. Most recently is the whole Epstein situation. And I don't exactly chase clout, but this is something that I think a lot of people tend to have a gripe with. Trump and the DOJ has essentially said, look, we're going to drop it. This is a non-issue to us. We're going to move forward with other things that can be done. I think a lot of us really do not accept that answer, especially since the whole Epstein situation has been talked about for years, and a lot of folks have hyped it up or have made mention of it because it seems like a pretty big honeypot of where corruption lies. And those that are involved in this list tend to be some of the scummiest individuals we know, if you've been paying attention to them. I'm not going to list names or anything like that because I don't think YouTube's going to like this video as it is now. But let's just say it tends to correlate with a lot of fairly wealthy or influential people. The idea and frankly the audacity that the DOJ has to yet again pretend like everything is okay and hunky-dory, that they're doing the investigation and they found nothing, it's garbage. It is a very blatant garbage narrative to push, especially given their rhetoric and their comments leading up to the situation that happened over the last 2 days. Nobody is happy. Now, here's a couple of thoughts and opinions regarding that. I'm not going to outright discredit in saying that, Trump is not on that list. I don't think he is. To my understanding and my recollection, he's the one who actually turned Epstein in the first place. Given the supposed relationship those two had, best buds or what have you, and that he turned right around and turned Epstein in for hitting on underage staff in Mar-a-Lago and gotten kicked out of Mar-a-Lago, followed by being very agreeable to the attorney that was asking questions, having the attorney that was counseling Epstein for months and months and months about this very issue, asking Epstein, hey, do you have anything on Trump? And Epstein was very clear that he said no. Take that with a grain of salt, but I think given the dynamics involved and what the nature and intent of that whole situation is about regarding Epstein and those who are in very influential positions, I would almost tend to think that it would be more beneficial for him to go ahead and turn in his best bud to have them burn together, right? That's where I sit. I could be right, could be wrong, but that's where I sit. So between that, Trump agreeing with the attorney, apparently in the preliminary trial testifying pretty vehemently, against Epstein, and following that with his actions as president to mitigate and eliminate trafficking where possible, and really a plethora of other situations, I tend to really question the credibility of him being on that list. It's possible. I'm not going to completely knock it down, but I question the credibility of that particular argument, given everything that we know so far. That said, it still doesn't make a damn bit of sense to me why he is trying to find a way to remove himself from this situation. He brought it up in 2016. Why is he trying to now move people away from the whole Epstein client situation? Is it just because he's overly frustrated at people not recognizing the accomplishments that his administration has done? Or is it because he is being threatened? Or is it because he just doesn't want to talk about it anymore? He thinks it's served its purpose and he's not going to get anywhere with it, so he's just wanting to move on. I don't know. DOJ, on the other hand, had probably half, if not most, of its various organizations that were pretty hostile towards the Trump administration during his first term. I don't think that got fixed overnight just because you swore in a couple new people. In fact, I would almost hazard a guess, based upon what we know, that the new people that got in there were threatened in turn by the DOJ in general, various organizations, institutions. Some of the lower rank and file got together and said, hey, look, you're going to have to play ball this way or this is going to happen to whoever, whatever. That's a possibility. Another possibility is that they're just a bunch of posers anyways, and they never really were going to be very sincere on this to begin with, and they were just doing what they could to get clout. There's certainly enough arguments out there that could be made regarding these individuals that say, yeah, no, they're not good people. And this is before they even got sworn in, but there were the desired appointed, nominated, and people had their gripes there. So maybe this is the way they always were, and they just kind of made a big show of it beforehand to get clout and get attention in order to make a name for themselves. That's possible. But we know the DOJ has a pretty well-established track record of running more in the way of interference and cover for individuals who are guilty of some pretty bad stuff in other areas, and they protect them. They don't apply justice to them, they protect them. So where I stand on this whole situation is that you can't trust government, period. No matter how well-intentioned a given leader may be, no matter how much their heart may possibly be in the right place, you just can't trust government. I would love nothing more than to see pretty much all of the federal government completely shut down and streamlined into the bare bones essentials of what keeps a nation functioning. Other than that, services that they provide, agencies, what have you, that they have, all of that gets shut down. The entire administrative branch is really just the president and his advisors. The legislative branch, which is supposed to be the joint House and Senate, are the ones that make all the laws. All these other various agencies, CDC, FDA, FBI, CIA, NSA, what have you, all of that stuff more or less gets shut down. Maybe at one point in time they were a good thing, but it's clear that they're being used more to push propaganda and line people's pocketbooks than they are about doing what's right for the American people. I do not have a very good view of our government right now. I love my country. I absolutely love my country, but I do not have a very good view of our government. I do support our president, generally speaking. I think there's a number of really good things that he's trying to do. And I think his heart is in the right place. But this whole Epstein situation has really put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, and understandably so. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Take them, leave them, laugh at them, encourage them, or hell, even say, hey, I told you so. I may disagree with you, but you know what? You're entitled to your opinion just as I am mine. And with that, yeah, I'll upload another video when I feel the need to talk about something, I guess.